Hey, it's Mike, the political science guy. Thanks for tuning in. A lot of people are saying, well, what's going to happen if Trump gets disqualified because of a legal case? Or what's going to happen if Biden decides that it's time to hang it up because he won't make it through his second term and Kamala Harris is too much of a liability for the party? Now, some would call her an empty suit, a cackling Kathy. The reality is she's got very, very high negatives and very low approval ratings, which really is where it matters. So let's say that Biden pulls out. There's plenty of Democrats out there, but who's nationally known who could win in the suburbs? Because remember, the Democrats aren't going to win out in the countryside. They're going to win in the cities, but they need to win in the suburbs. So it's going to be somebody that's family friendly, who's probably tacking towards the center, and it's going to be somebody that has either a blank slate and looks pretty, like a Gavin Newsom. He looks very pretty, but doesn't have California's extreme left baggage, which unfortunately for Gavin, he's going to carry with him. So you have Robert Kennedy Jr., who's running as a maverick, and the Democrat establishment is furious with him because as these elections have been so tight in the last few rounds, the last 12 years, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, any third party is taking away from that margin of victory. Please stay out of it. So it could be someone inside the party establishment like Newsom who will go over like a lead balloon out in some parts of the suburbs in purple states. It could be somebody else inside the Democrat establishment who's a little bit more urban, who doesn't have a track record, but comes from a state that's considered semi-purple. Could be that way too. We don't know. On the Republican side, if Trump gets disqualified, the first person I think of is the governor of Florida, DeSantis. And the reality is that he's basically another version of Trump without the same baggage, though he does have some scars and bumps on him from fighting with Disney and going after the wokies and what have you. You also have the governor of Texas. He would also be a contender probably. You know, you have to have a certain amount of national, shall we say, identity. People have to know who you are in order to even be a contender. The days of the dark horse candidates, I think, are kind of behind us. Barack Obama was perhaps the last of the dark horse candidates. We might get another one, but the opposing candidate has to be so bad that the dark horse candidate wins. So in the digital age where you can really dig deep and nothing goes away, it's very likely that anything that anybody said is going to be used against them. So bear that in mind. So if it does end up being Biden and it ends up being Trump, then it's going to boil down to a lot of things. We're looking at stagflation. We're looking at all kinds of international insecurity. We're looking at all kinds of law and order issues. That all bodes well for the party not in power, which would be the Republicans. So I think that they've got a good shot, and the Democrats might be compelled to either knock Trump out judiciously, which they're trying to do, or getting rid of Joe Biden because they know that the empty suit that's behind him is not a popular candidate. We'll see what happens. We got a lot of green between now and November, as they say in pool. A lot of green. So good luck. This is Mike, the political science guy, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks.